breaking news on WFLA Now. Here is JB Buno.
Major developments this evening in the Gabby Petito disappearance. We're moments away from a press conference at Grand Teton National Park in the area where the Florida 22-year-old was last seen. A body has reportedly been found during today's search efforts. Hey there, folks. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA. Now, let's show you our live feed from Grand Teton National Park. You can see here that a press conference about to get underway here. The time now 5:59 Eastern, so we're about 1 minute away here, at least from the scheduled press conference time, the scheduled press conference for 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Mountain Time, 4 o'clock, of course, where we are in Grand Teton National Park. Let's get to what we know here. NewsNation reporting here a body found in Wyoming in the area where authorities continue their search for missing YouTuber Gabby Petito, who vanished while on a cross-country road trip with her fiancé. Teton County, Wyoming coroner Brent Blue confirming to NewsNation's Brian Laundrie that a body has been found. He says they don't know the identity and won't say at this time if it is a man or a woman. So here's what we know and here's what we don't know at this time. During the search for Gabby Petito today, a body was found in Grand Teton National Park, in the area of Grand Teton National Park. Let's not forget how large of an area Grand Teton National Park is, about 220,000 acres here. So a body has been recovered by the coroner's office for Teton County, Wyoming. And we now have a press conference here. Now, we, of course, immediately, so many of our commenters here, I can see already coming in here, a lot of our commenters, of course, fearing the worst. We don't have anything confirmed. We don't even know if the body is a man or a woman. But given the magnitude of the press conference here, given the fact that things have remained relatively quiet in the last 15 to 20 minutes, an announcement is going to be made here. An announcement is going to be made. The press conference here is being set up in a way that that we're going to have an update here on this case. A press conference has been called here pertaining to an update in Gabby Petito's disappearance, as we understand it. And so we're moments away here from finding out what that update is. And again, the coroner's office reporting that a body has been found. So sticking to the facts here, that's what we know here at this time. You can hear some of the chatter coming in here, folks. We're live a little bit early, even though we were live about 2 or so minutes before the top of the hour here. Went live a little bit early here, and clearly press conference hasn't gotten underway here. Why are we live a little bit early? Because it takes time for, of course, all the shares and everything to occur on social media, all the retweets to occur on social media. So it gives everybody the opportunity to kind of file in here, comment back and forth. We're going to be featuring your comments here coming up with hashtag HeyJB, as we do here on WFLA Now. So in the Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, comment sections here. If you want to get my attention here, use hashtag HeyJB in the comment, and that way we can animate it on screen. If you don't want your comment to be animated on screen here, what we'll do is we'll just kind of let your comment go idly by if we don't see the hashtags. That's pretty much kind of how it works here, folks. So we were live a little bit earlier on today for the search for Brian Laundrie. And people were asking at that time, what's going on in Wyoming? What's going on in Wyoming? This is what was going on in Wyoming. I want to keep the press conference here on screen so that everybody can see the podium here. So let's go split screen here. Left side of the screen here, folks, is the podium. We're waiting for that press conference to get underway here momentarily. When it starts, we go full screen, we listen in, we find out what this update is. On the right side of your screen, these are search efforts in Wyoming, aerial coverage of that search effort that was underway today here. So Grand Teton National Park, there you can see some of the cars there that were parked, going through some of the areas here that had been mentioned as possible locations as to where that white van had been located. So the search efforts were underway here. We've had simultaneous search efforts here, folks. Simultaneous. Because right now, and it still stands this way at this moment, we have a dual missing persons case for this engaged couple that left on July 2nd from New York in that white Ford van going across the country, posting on social media. The couple, of course, being Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie. Brian Laundrie being, of course, Gabby's fiancé and the person of interest in this case. Brian Laundrie is missing. And we were live, we were live earlier on today with a update as to the search efforts. And right now, the search area in Florida, where Brian Laundrie could possibly be, again, seen leaving on Tuesday in hiking gear, or said to have left family on Tuesday with hiking gear. The area where he is said to be is so vast and expansive, but it is a fraction of the size of the area that is Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. So we're about to get an update here, folks. Thanks for spending a portion of your evening here with us. I haven't even looked too much here at some of the folks that are joining us across all three platforms. Let's see what we can do is that we can try to bring in all three platforms here. And I can see hello to our YouTube audience, hello to our Twitter audience, hello to our Facebook audience. A reminder here, folks, I've been live here pretty much the last several days. Voice is a little bit hoarse here because we've been doing hours and hours of online coverage of this story. And it's a story that, of course, has captured the attention of so many people across the country. Folks in New York are following this because this road trip began in New York. People in Florida following this, of course, and of course the Petito family and family members that are in New York. People in Florida, of course, paying close attention. That's where Brian Laundrie is said to have driven the van back to and is now missing. On, on the other side of the country, in Utah and Wyoming, that is where Gabby Petito was last known to be. The text message that was sent, no signal in Yosemite, or no service in Yosemite, that text message being sent there. Again, that was where something is believed to have gone wrong during this cross-country road trip. And so we have a multi-state investigation there and a multi-agency search going on there in Utah and Wyoming, or has been going on in Utah and Wyoming. And then, of course, now we have the search efforts that are underway in Florida, in the Tampa Bay area, in rural, very rural Sarasota County, in Myakkahatchee. So we've got a lot going on here. But let's not forget what everybody wants to know the answer to, and that is, where is Gabby? Even earlier, when we were searching and showing you the search area in Florida for Brian Laundrie and showing you some of the search efforts that were currently underway at that time, everyone was asking, where is Gabby? I want people, I'll sum up some comments here. People were saying, I want to find Brian so that we can find Gabby. And so right now, no update in Florida, but we do have an update that you're about to see here on your screen here, folks. We'll go full screen as they do a white balance here, a full screen here. We will go full screen here the moment that the press conference gets underway. What we'll do then afterwards, after the press conference gets underway, or after the press conference concludes, we'll be here live to break down what we learned, what we know, what we still don't know. And we'll have a conversation with you, and we'll animate some of your comments here on screen. In the meantime here, folks, I can take some of your hashtag HeyJB comments and questions here, but at the same time, I'm hesitant to do so because I know that the moment that we start taking your questions and your comments, someone's going to walk up to the podium, and this could be a mic check. Let's just listen in.
Audio levels. Can you just check the audio level on REM 2 AT? I'm just going to talk into the mic. This is mic check for New York. New York, mic check. Checking mics, checking levels from Wyoming. Control, just let me know.
So clearly a mic check getting underway here, but anytime anyone steps up to the podium, I'm going to go full screen here on the touchscreen, and we'll go live and we'll listen in. And the whole world will be able to listen in as to what this update is. As a reminder, we know that we're constantly engaging a new digital audience here, and NewsNation's Brian Entin reporting that a body has been found, and the Teton County, Wyoming coroner, that being Brent Blue, confirming to Brian Entin. Again, follow him on NewsNation, follow him on air and online. A body has been found, but the identity has not been revealed, and they won't say if it was a man or a woman. Let's break down some of the key questions that are going to be asked in this press conference. Give you a little bit of a primer here as to, of course, the first questions are going to be, and what we anticipate happening here is an announcement being made, and then a question and answer period. And we hope to find out whether or not the body that was found here today during the search in Grand Teton National Park, whether or not that was Gabby Petito, or based on, of course, preliminary results here, if they believe that to be Gabby Petito. At that point, then, questions could include how long is Gabby believed to have been dead? What is the cause of death? Is there any evidence at the scene of where the body was recovered as to the cause of death? These are some of the questions that we're going to be asked again, provided that authorities here announced that the body that they found, based on what they know at this time, is believed to be Gabby Petito. If that is the case, then those are the questions that are going to follow. Potential cause of death, or preliminary investigation, cause of death. How long they believe the body to be there. What condition was the body in? Was there an attempt to cover up the body? Was there an attempt to conceal it? Was it found near where the van was? And this is new video that came in a short time ago this afternoon. And of course, we had to verify this video before it was something that we could verify this video before it was something that we could bring on to WFLA Now. But by now, many of you have likely seen this video. Let's see if we can animate it here on our screen. This video. This is courtesy of, and make sure I have this right, Jen Bethune. Red, White, and Bethune. Big thank you to them for providing us with this video. And this is the video that they found and I want to make sure that I have the date here correct. August 27th is when they believe that this video was shot. And this is a massive clue. Now, based on the video here, the video shows us what does the video show us? The video shows us a van here parked off. This is Grand Teton National Park. A van here that was parked on the left side of the road here. Kind of an odd spot to be parked. People on Reddit and TikTok have been combing through this video to determine whether or not this is, in fact, it's hard. You can't see too well if it's Florida plates, but trying to comb through and determine whether or not this is, in fact, the Laundrie and Petito vehicle. And then also, too, people have been combing through the background of this video, trying to figure out exactly what they can see. And there's a lot of people trying to enhance this video on Reddit and on TikTok. But I don't want to get too far away from the matter at hand here, folks. We'll talk more about this video here on the back end of the press conference. I want to stay here focused with you and stay here on the left side of your screen, show you the press conference, so that the moment somebody steps up to the microphone here, we can listen in and find out what the update is. So split screen here, live from Grand Teton National Park here on the left side of your screen. On the right side of your screen, this was earlier today in Wyoming. They have been using all means possible here. Oh, I think we have them walking up to the podium here, folks. Let's listen in.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll have time for a brief statement. Because this is an ongoing investigation, we won't have time for questions. Please.
Good afternoon. My name is Charles Jones. I'm the Supervisory Senior Resident Agent here in Wyoming for FBI Denver. Standing with me here today are Acting Chief Ranger Matt Wilbur with the National Park Service, Hunter Bailey, who is Chief of the National Park Service Investigative Services Branch. We also have Teton County Sheriff Matt Carr and Jackson Police Chief Michelle Weber. First and foremost, on behalf of the FBI personnel and our partners, I would like to extend sincere and heartfelt condolences to Gabby's family. Joe and Tara Petito and Jim and Nicole Schmidt. As every parent can imagine, this is an incredibly difficult time for the family and friends. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. We ask that you all respect the privacy as they mourn the loss of their daughter. As you are aware, FBI personnel, in coordination with our partners at National Park Service, the Forest Service, Teton County Sheriff's Office, and Jackson Police Department, have been conducting an investigative activity in the vicinity of the Spread Creek dispersed camping area. Earlier today, human remains were discovered, consistent with the description of Gabby Petito. Full forensic identification has not been completed to confirm 100% that we found Gabby, but her family has been notified of this discovery. The cause of death has not been determined at this time. We appreciate your continued support and patience as we work through this process. The vicinity around Spread Creek campsite will remain closed to the public until further notice. This is an active and ongoing investigation, so we ask everyone maintain distance from law enforcement personnel and equipment, vehicles, and related activity for their own safety, as well as to protect the integrity of our work and respect privacy for Gabby's family. We appreciate the tremendous support from the public. The support from the public's response to request of tips has been remarkable. We continue to seek information from anyone who utilized the Spread Creek dispersed camping area between the dates of August 27th and August 30th. Anyone that may have had contact with Gabby or her boyfriend, or who may have seen their vehicle in that area. Please share any new information with the FBI at tips.fbi.gov or 1-800-CALL-FBI. And finally, the Denver Field Office Direct is 303-629-7171. Photos and videos can also be uploaded at fbi.gov/Petito. We thank our partners at the National Park Service, the U.S. Forest Service, Teton County Sheriff's Office, and Jackson Police Department for their collaboration and diligence in this investigation. They surged their resources in a very short amount of time, and their personnel have intimate knowledge of the rugged terrain that we're dealing with, which made this process much more difficult. We greatly appreciate the invaluable skill and expertise of the Teton County Search and Rescue Team. We also thank the community of Jackson and the surrounding areas for the hospitality and for accommodating a rapid influx of law enforcement personnel in the area. In order to protect our investigative process and increase probability of successful prosecution should it be necessary, we have no additional comments. We appreciate your cooperation and respect for Gabby's family, loved ones during this difficult time. Thank you.
So can you please tell us why you led to that campsite in particular as opposed to
It's an ongoing investigation, sir. We cannot answer those, unfortunately, at this time.
Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here is JB Buno.
The news we all feared. Confirmed here by authorities at Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. A body matching Gabby Petito's description found by hard-working search members here today, Sunday, September 19th, 2021. And Gabby Petito's family has been informed of the tragic news. Hey there, folks. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. That 6 o'clock presser was difficult for even members of law enforcement to deliver the news here, the news that we have all been fearing now for the last almost week of this story. Every single solitary person that I spoke to personally off the clock when I talked to them about this story, when I told them the details, when the story began to first gain traction Monday, Tuesday of last week, when I talked to them and I said, this was a couple that went, an engaged couple that went on a cross-country road trip. They were together and they made it all the way from your posting on social media, all the way through to Wyoming, to Utah, to that area of the country. And then the social media trail of breadcrumbs went cold. And Brian returned to the Tampa Bay area, to Northport, Florida, with her van, and Gabby was missing, and Gabby was not part of that trip back here to Florida. The most common response that I got was, this doesn't feel right. That's not good. This doesn't add up. This stinks. That was the response that I got. And as the story progressed over the week, the situation just, it got worse. The video came out from Utah showing that there was a domestic call and that the police here wanted to see if Gabby was safe. During this moment, investigators are talking to Gabby about her well-being and what to do, but also trying to figure out exactly what happened. Ryan, as we get in some stray audio here, let me just kind of take care of that. Brian had scratches on his face. Gabby clearly distraught here. Something just wasn't right between this couple. There have been people examining their body language, their responses, their facial expressions to this moment. And Gabby, clearly here, distraught. It's a hard video to watch. Is separated from Brian Laundrie. And they stay at separate hotels that night. And then now here we are. It's September 19th. Gabby's body is found, or a body matching the description. It's believed to be confident. And let's just kind of talk about that here for a second. The body matching Gabby Petito's description, enough so. And again, they have to go through protocol here as far as determining the identity of the deceased, but confident enough to call the Petito family and tell them that their daughter is no longer with us. This is a tough day. This is an extremely tough day. We have an NBC reporter. Let's listen in here for a moment. Coming back with your hashtag HeyJB comments here in just a moment.
Voice from the beginning, and it led to us believing that this wasn't going to be a happy ending for the Petito case. So they came up here, they gave us their information. We were told we were not allowed to ask questions, and they left, and they were in and out. And so it's just really heartbreaking news for really a lot of people to hear, but especially for Gabby's family. They have asked for the media to refrain from reaching out to them, to give them some space at this time. And so, it's just very surreal to hear, knowing the video that KSL TV saw from the air with our chopper, then to trace it to what they just announced, saying that body parts being recovered were consistent with the description of Gabby Petito. Now, again, just want to point out, they are waiting on the official word from the coroner's office, but it's safe to say that this is a very heartbreaking for a lot of people to hear. Debbie?
All right, we have a tweet here. Can you send that my way, Alexis, please? All right, so we have a tweet here from Joseph Petito that just came in. You can hear it there, even in the reporter's voice here. This has been a story that has not just affected, listen, of course, at the center of this story are the families that we're talking about here. We're talking now. We'll talk about the Laundrie family here in just a moment. But we're not moving. We've been talking about this story for way too long. We are not moving on to the Laundrie aspect of this story until we give Gabby what she deserves. And Gabby deserves a moment here where we can all just think and focus on Gabby and the family and sending prayers for Gabby. Brian Laundrie, we'll talk about him in a few minutes. We have a lot of time to talk about Brian Laundrie, and we'll get to Brian Laundrie here in a moment. But all of our commenters here, I know that you're pounding your keyboards right now in frustration, and you want to know who did this, and you want to know who's responsible. And I'm sure the people pounding the keyboards hardest know who, or at least believe that they know who is responsible for this. We will get to that aspect of the story here for a second. First and foremost, we need to send prayers for the Petito family. The Petito family has done everything that they everything. They've flown to Wyoming. They have flown down here to Florida. Excuse me, I'm sorry. They have done countless interviews. I'm thinking of that family right now, because they've done everything right. They've done it right. They've made themselves available. They've come up to the podium. They've hired an attorney. They issued statements. They did this. They did it all the right way because they were just trying to find Gabby. So this is a family that is really having an extremely rough day. Let's just focus on Gabby for a second and Gabby Petito's family. She was 22 years old. She was 22. All right, let's bring up some of the commentary here, and Nico Clemens I'm going to see if I can bring this up here on my screen. This is a tweet here from Joseph Petito. It'll take me a moment here, everybody, to load this up. So everybody just bear with me. I need a moment myself, but just everyone just kind of bear with me here for a moment. And we'll just kind of bring this up here on screen. And there we have it. Moments ago from Joseph Petito. And we'll just kind of look at this here. And you can find me on Twitter at WFLAJB, and that's on the screen here. And I apologize, I shouldn't have. This is my account. Joseph Petito here, heartbreak emoji, hashtag Gabby Petito, she touched the world, and put up this picture. So to all of our commenters here and our viewers, many of you have been with us here on WFLA Now over the last several days, really the last week or so, and you've been part of this story and you've been commenting at me. We've been having conversations here, and it's been difficult. It's been extraordinarily difficult, and we now have an answer here as to where is Gabby, and Gabby's in a higher place. Gabby's not here with us, but in some place better. And, or at least let's just kind of think of it that way for a moment here. Because again, we're talking about a 22-year-old girl who got engaged, had her whole life ahead of her. And I want to think of it as her being in a better place, but she's no longer with us here based on what we just found out here in the last hour. And this is difficult news to digest, and we're going to do it here together. I never met this girl. And if this type of story had occurred 30, 40 years ago, maybe this type of a response wouldn't be in me. But you watch enough YouTube videos. This is a 2021 story in that you watch enough YouTube videos, Instagram clips, you see enough pictures, and you feel, and I'm sure that people out there are thinking the same thing. You feel like you knew a little bit about who Gabby was. No one knows more than the Gabby Petito family and those closest to Gabby, but just, she was a free spirit as we understand it. She was somebody that loved to go on adventures. She was somebody who was magnetic and loved sharing her experiences with the world. And no one's, they had difficulty on the road, the two of them, and find me a couple that hasn't had difficulty on, or gotten into an argument. But the arguments don't end like this story did. And again, more on that here in a moment, but I want to just give to Nicole, to Joe, to the entire family. We just want to say that, at least I'll say for myself, prayers for the Petito family. This is a rough piece of news. I think that everyone was fearing the worst as the days continue to go on. And when you look at the timeline and when she was last seen, you look at the location, but now there are so many questions. So let's just take a moment here. What we're going to do is we'll step away for 90 seconds, and just say, and let everybody just have a moment of silence here. This is for Gabby Petito. We'll be back in 90 seconds to continue the conversation here and where this now goes. But for what we'll do is here, folks, we're going to pause this if we can, and a prayer for Gabby Petito. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. I've been reading through some of the comments here in the last several minutes. Thanks for being here with us. That was a moment of silence for Gabby Petito and a moment of reflection for everyone. A moment where we can just send some prayers for the Petito family, the family that just wanted to find their daughter. They did, but not in the way that they had originally hoped. We've gotten in the last several moments. We've gotten in some updates that we're going to get to. Just first here, before we do that, just a couple of comments that we'll animate here on screen. You can use hashtag HeyJB. That's the only way that we animate comments on screen. So that if you don't want your name and whatever your account profile picture is, we won't animate your comment on screen unless you absolutely want us to. And if you want us to, please use hashtag HeyJB. Michelle Mann, hashtag HeyJB. May her family find peace and may Gabby fly high. Let her wings soar. A very touching comment here from Michelle. From Anastasia, hashtag HeyJB. My thoughts and prayers are with the Petito family. Justice for Gabby. Let's first and foremost show you the area where this all happened here today. So this is video that we just got in. Let me make sure that I attribute this video properly. Very important to give the proper credit here to those who shot this video. And this is from, and I'll make sure I have this right here. I thought I had it right up here on one of my screens, and I don't, but give me 1 second here. This is from KSL. KSL Chopper 5. This was where the body of Gabby Petito, or the body again. We have to continue to repeat this now until we're past the preliminary stage of the body examination and the identity process here. But a body matching Gabby Petito's description has been found here in this location, but it's enough of a match preliminarily to contact the Petito family and inform them what has happened. These were the search efforts that were underway here today, and this is where they found a body. This video has been screened here. The video has been screened to ensure, of course, that we're not showing anything that we're not supposed to. But this is where Gabby was found. And now, and back to the commenter here a moment ago, justice for Gabby. There needs to be justice for Gabby Petito. There needs to be justice for Gabby Petito. And we don't know how swift that justice is. But let me just say this. Before we take more of your hashtag HeyJB comments, and now we carry this conversation forward into a man's name here that I'm going to start saying over and over again here in a few minutes, a man here on the right side of your screen. I want to talk about Florida law enforcement for a moment. This has been really a long week for members of Florida law enforcement. Brian Laundrie is someone who returns back to Florida, returns here to Sarasota County in his fiance's van on a cross-country road trip that he was just on, but he returns to Florida in her van without his fiance and immediately has an attorney hired. And everyone wants to know what he has to say. And Florida law enforcement do what they can, but because of the law and the law is in place, Brian Laundrie invokes his constitutional right to remain silent. And that is extremely frustrating, of course, for Florida authorities, because they have to do everything that they can to find a way to determine whether or not Brian Laundrie had anything to do with Gabby Petito's disappearance without being able to interview Brian himself. So this has been an exhausting week for law enforcement here in the Tampa Bay area, in Sarasota, in Northport. It's been an exhausting week, and they've been searching. They were searching all day yesterday, all day today, and we can only hope that this news is I would imagine. I'll just say this. I would imagine that this news reaches the ears of Florida law enforcement here, and they're going to want that all the search efforts. This has been a grueling search in Myakkahatchee, in rural Sarasota. We can only hope now that this kicks them in and kicks them into a whole nother gear. Not that they needed a whole nother gear, but provides them with an extra jolt of motivation here to find Brian and to carry on in these search efforts. These search efforts have been grueling. It's been a long week for Sarasota law enforcement, for law enforcement at Northport Police. But let's hope that they are reinvigorated here tonight, because they want to do what they can for the Petito family and bring this to justice, bring this story to justice. All right, it's time to do a more thorough discussion here on what we know, what we don't know, and on Brian Laundrie here. Okay, so let's now start. Let's get into this here. Let's talk about Brian Laundrie. Nothing has changed as of this time with Brian Laundrie. He is still a missing person. He is still a person of interest and a missing person. He is not a suspect at this time. That could change. An examination of the body, an examination of the area where the body was found, the autopsy, all of this is going to be conducted now to determine whether or not there's any evidence in Wyoming that Brian Laundrie can be officially labeled as a suspect. Right now, this is a missing person search. How long till it becomes a manhunt? At this time, I want to reiterate this. Some very strong-worded comments for Brian Laundrie here in the comment section, but we have to report it as is. And right now, Brian Laundrie, and this could change with a tweet in 5 seconds, but right now, Brian Laundrie is a person of interest in a missing persons case. So if they were to find him at this moment, at this time, he can't be charged with a crime until they say that he can be charged with a crime, because they have evidence to justify the crime being, of course, charged against him. So that's where we are with this. So now that we kind of got that out of the way, let's talk about what we don't know and what we do know. We don't know the cause of death. We don't know the condition that the body was found in. We don't know what kind of evidence was found with the body. We don't know if there was an attempt to conceal the body. We don't know if the body was found at the bottom of a ravine. We don't know if the body was found in a shallow grave. We don't know if the body was found under a blanket. I don't want to go into the gruesome details, but we don't know what condition the body was found in. And I'm doing this out of respect for the Petito family, of course. We don't know the condition that the body was found in. So this is all now a process. It's a process that I think that a lot of folks would dearly hope would give us answers sooner rather than later, and that they use all means necessary to, of course, to find out whether if there's any clues pertaining to Gabby's last location, if there's anything that can bring this closer to justice for Gabby. All of this will happen in time, and I'm sure that people want this to be done as quickly as possible. But I want to also, I keep going back to our interview with Josh Taylor from Northport Police a couple of nights ago. There is a process now. I want folks to really remember how this works, this process works. There's a process now with how, now that we have a person deceased in Grand Teton National Park, there's a process that we have to go through here. And any missteps in that process, any shortcuts taken, could foil justice down the road in a courtroom. So police, law enforcement, the coroner's office, the medical examiner, all of them have to do things to a T and follow the process correctly. Would you rather have rushed results and then justice for Gabby ends up not happening a couple of years from now when this case hits a courtroom? Or would you rather them do it right, take the extra time necessary, and put a button on this to the point where they are 100% confident that the person responsible for this gets put away for as long as necessary? So there's a process now that has to be followed. So people are going to want to rush here this process and want answers quickly. For those people, I preach patience so that law enforcement here, they have this correct and right and done by the book. I know here that there are folks who are joining us here that are just finding us here. We had a moment of silence earlier for Gabby Petito, and these images here. What I think now what we're gonna do is we've been showing this video enough. Can we not all agree? And our system here, our video system here, just kind of immediately goes into autoplay mode. So what we're gonna do here, folks, is we're gonna put away this video for unless we need it later. We're gonna put away this video here for a while, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of freeze it right here on Gabby's image. Let's go back to the image here, and we're just gonna freeze it. I want to remember Gabby this way. Let's do this first, and we're gonna just freeze this and instead of video playing here and all that auto feed video, let's do that. Let's get to some of the questions and some of the comments that are coming in here on Facebook Live and Twitter, on YouTube. If you're just joining us, #HeyJB, we can feature some of your comments here on screen. Becky Lee, #HeyJB, my heart is so heartbroken for her family. This is so sad. I was hoping for a different outcome. All right, now some of the questions coming in about the Laundrie family. Let's dive right into it. Callie Sturgeon, #HeyJB. Will his family be brought in for questioning as he is clearly a person of interest? I don't believe so. At this time, we believe that family is cooperating to the point where they have, of course, indicated that Brian Laundrie left on Tuesday with hiking gear. And I think that a lot of the hope right now lies with finding Brian. And I would imagine that if investigators felt like they had some avenue to try to get information from the parents, that they would do so. However, Brian is the focal point right now. Despite not being named a suspect, being a person of interest, him going missing this week certainly adds up. 2 + 2 = 4. And I think that it's pretty fair to say right now that Brian is the primary and in some estimations the sole focus right now of the investigation here in Florida. Yeah, a lot of questions about Brian's parents. Jasmine Sue, #HeyJB. I hope Brian's parents come forward and speak about what they know. Brian's parents have the same exact constitutional rights as myself, as you watching at home, and as Brian Laundrie if he's wandering in the woods. The right to remain silent. And the fact is that anything that you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And so Brian's parents, at this stage now, it would be a significant turn for them to start talking now, given what has happened. So Jasmine here is hoping that the Laundrie family's conscience comes into play here. But hold on a second though. We can't jump from A to C without talking about B, and B is this in that equation. You're assuming that Brian's family knows something. Brian's family might not know something. That scenario is still within what I call the realm of possible. There is a scenario where Brian comes back, says he got into a fight with Gabby on the road. They got separated and he returned home and he doesn't know what happened to her. There's also that scenario here, still within the realm of possible, that they got into a fight, they got separated, and something sinister happened to Gabby. Everyone's shaking their heads at home. I can feel it through the camera lens. I feel it. JB, come on, no way. It's got to be Brian. But at this stage of where we are, there is zero evidence that connects Brian Laundrie to Gabby Petito's death. And we can now say not disappearance, but death. Zero evidence. That could change in a matter of minutes, hours, or days. However, at this time, Gabby is dead, and her fiancé is a missing persons case. And until that they have something to charge him with, people saying, I hope Brian's parents come forward and speak. What if they have nothing to speak about? Or what if they have nothing to speak regarding how Gabby lost her life? Again, apologies for the hoarse voice. It keeps cracking, but it's been a long day of streaming. It's been a long week of streaming, and it's just taking a toll on the vocal cords here, folks. All right, so here's what we're going to do here, folks. It is very difficult here on a Sunday night. What we're going to do is I'm going to step away for 60 seconds. 60 seconds. I want everyone to file in their hashtag HeyJB comments, whether you want to pass along a prayer for Gabby, a prayer for the Petito family, whether or not you want to make a point about anything I just said, whether or not you want to make a point about Brian Laundrie, whether or not you want to give some words of encouragement to Florida law enforcement that is searching for Brian right now at this hour. Use hashtag HeyJB here. It's with the size of our audience right now across so many different places, I believe that we are live in about roughly somewhere between 120 and 180 places, I believe, when you add up all of the different accounts that we're currently live on, and that's without embeds and shares. So it's a lot of comments to kind of sift through in real time. So our team here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of step away here for 60 seconds, file in your hashtag HeyJB comments if you want to be featured here on screen. Continue to say prayers for Gabby. Continue to remember that tonight is about Gabby, but I know that people want to find justice for Gabby and have a conversation about that and pertaining to what's going on here in the Tampa Bay area as the search for Brian Laundrie continues. We're aware of the balance that needs to be struck here, as far as paying respects to Gabby, the Petito. It's a fine line to walk. The Petito family, thinking about Gabby, thinking about Gabby's family, and then also delving into justice for Gabby and justice for her family, and bringing this story to a conclusion of justice. So we're going to walk that line as best we can. You have my word. I'm going to step away for 60 seconds as we gather in all of your hashtag HeyJB comments here. We'll be back here in a moment on WFLA Now.
WFLA Now will begin momentarily. WFLA Now will begin momentarily. Streaming live on WFLA Now, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY. Here is J.B. Buno.
Prayers for Gabby. Prayers for Gabby. And now, justice for Gabby. As we continue to think of the Gabby Petito family as they learn of what occurred and what happened to their daughter. Hey there, folks. JB Buno here with you live again on WFLA Now, engaging a new digital audience here with you. We'll keep this image on screen and freeze it here as we stay with the memory of Gabby Petito. And this is going to be difficult now because all of that social media activity still exists online. You can watch videos of Gabby and feel like she's still there, but she's not. based on what we know at this hour and based on what we were just told by in a very teary-eyed press conference that we just had here a moment ago. Brian Laundrie, we're going to talk about here in just a moment, but Gabby Petito, a body matching her description was found in Grand Teton National Park. I believe we have the video here. This is from KSL Chopper 5. This is over Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. Full credit to them for providing us with this video here. We're going to focus on this picture. It's a great smile. Gabby's got a great smile. She does, and I think that it's a smile that has drawn us in to find answers here as to what happened to her and why she was taken so soon at the tender age of 22 years old. Think about where you were at 22. I know that our online audience trends in age from anywhere from that age group all the way up to the young age of 65 years old. And for everyone listening at home, think about where you were at 22. This is somebody who had her whole life ahead of her, and it was cut short. And we, at this time, let's point out one other thing that we haven't pointed out yet on this stream here. This is not, at this time, there was no mention in this press conference of this being a homicide investigation. We don't know the cause of death. We don't know what happened to Gabby. We don't know if her fiancé is involved. It's so easy to jump to conclusions, but we have a responsibility here. I have a responsibility, and the job that I do, I have a responsibility for all of you to have a frank conversation with you based on what we know and what we don't know, but also to tell it as it is. And to tell it as it is right now, this is not yet a homicide investigation until we are told by authorities in Wyoming, in Northwest Wyoming. We believe that something terrible happened to Gabby. We believe. We don't know. And so we'll find out, hopefully, sooner rather than later what happened to Gabby. But this is not a homicide investigation at this time. And Brian Laundrie, her fiancé, is a person of interest who is missing and has not been charged with a crime and has invoked his constitutional right to remain silent. And we don't know where he is. Let's get to some of the comments that are coming in here. You can use new digital audience. And if you've been here with us now for an hour, you are very sick of hearing me say this, but I have to because people scroll on their news feeds. We're constantly engaging a new digital audience here, and I want to make sure that they understand how this works and so that they can be part of this. How this works is you see on the left side of your screen, underneath my name here on the yellow stripe, #HJB. If you use that, we can animate your comment on screen and show your name and show your comment so that you can be part of the conversation. Your word means a lot to me. I'll make that clear. What you have to say means a lot to me because that's why we're here live. This isn't television where we go live on broadcast, you get the news, and then as the commercial break is on, you go, to the pantry, you pick up some Chips Ahoy, a cup of milk, and you move on with the rest of your night. No, we can talk with you here. And we can do that back and forth with interactivity through the comment section here. So use #HJB if you want your comment to be featured on screen. There's a lot of folks that just don't feel comfortable on a news stream like this to have their comment featured in that way with their name and everything. So just don't use the hashtag, and we'll let your comment scroll on by, and you can continue to comment back and forth with your fellow commenters. And you have my word, I won't pluck it out of the comment section and throw it up here on screen. But let's get to some of the #HJB comments here that have come in here in the last several minutes here. I want to pick up kind of where we left off. And let's see here. Charlie Eldridge here, #HJB. Praying Brian comes forward and gives the family the closure that they deserve. Brian coming forward right now is... I told you I'd be frank with you. I'm being frank with you. Brian coming forward is highly unlikely at this time. He's vanished. We talked about this the other night. Do you know how hard it is to vanish like that? How hard it is? If I go to get milk down the street, half my family knows about it because I find my friends. People know where people go because of this, because of the device in our pocket, because of how technology has advanced. But Brian has vanished. I don't know how he did it. A magician would have an easier time making a white rabbit disappear into a top hat. I mean, I'm just thinking of ways here to describe to you how crazy it is that the person of interest in this case vanished in this way. And that's not a slight on people have said, JB, you're being critical of law enforcement. No, it's not. I'm not being critical of law enforcement. I'm not being critical of anyone. What I'm saying by saying that is, when the entire world has seen Brian Laundrie's face and know about this story here in the Tampa Bay area of Florida, when the world is looking out for him, everyone's got cameras on their phones in their pockets. People have dash cam video attached to their cars. We have surveillance cameras, Ring doorbells. Just to poof, vanish is really hard in 2021. Extremely hard. So he did it. He's gone. Attorney doesn't know where he is. Family that says they don't know where he is. And the chances of him coming forward now, after everything that he had to go through to be put off the grid, the chances of him coming forward, Charlie, are really slim. And that's me being frank with you. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope that tonight he comes back from hiking, he puts his hands up in the air, and he says, I'm ready to talk. I don't want any trouble. I just want to talk. I hope that happens. But again, there's so much that we don't know with this story, and there's so much that police don't know with this story, and they don't have enough right now to charge him with a crime. So he is still a missing person. And at this time, he has the right to go wherever he wants to go. Let's get to some of the other comments that have come in here in the last several minutes. Right on cue. Eric Shelley Morrison, #HeyJB. How was he able to leave his house without drawing the attention of the media I saw outside of his home? Well, probably because he wasn't there. Family members in the area, in the Tampa Bay area, he could have been staying in several different places. Thursday's press conference is key. Chief Todd Garrison says, pertaining to Brian Laundrie, says, we know where Brian is. We know where Brian is. We know where Brian is. But they didn't say where it was. They didn't say, we know Brian's at his house. We know he's at his house. We know he's at his house. They didn't say that. They said they know where he is. And everyone just assumed they thought he was home. But he could have, there's several different places that he could have been. And he vanished. Now, not to say that he wasn't in the house. He could have been in the house, and he could have, under the cover of darkness, disappeared out of his backyard and climbed fences and disappeared some way. But again, it's just so hard to vanish these days. That's to Eric and Shelley Morrison's point here. The media was stationed outside the house. So if he did, that's a whole nother crazy thought behind the story. If he managed to leave that house and not be detected, that's sheer insanity. Let's get to a couple of others here. Let's see here. Oh, let's just put this out. Put this to bed. Rachel. I'm not going to mispronounce your last name, Rachel. I'm just going to say Rachel. Rachel, #HJB. Do you think it's possible at all that the two females murdered in Moab have anything to do with this? Grand County Sheriff's Office, the department there, they confirmed that they're not related. They have, we've been talking about evidence, they have something that leads them to conclude that the two cases are separate. That's what we know. Sarah Clark, #HJB. What state was she found in? I thought the last known location was Tetons. Yeah, it was. So this, you don't want to say adds up doesn't feel right for me to say it that way because there's so much unknown still and a lot of different variables to the equation that are completely invisible to us. But yeah, our last known location was the Tetons. Wow, I can't even clear my throat. Excuse me. It's been a long week of streaming. Apologies for the hoarse voice. She was found in the Tetons and Grand Teton National Park. She was found in northwest Wyoming. So it all, again, I don't even want to say fits. It's not that it fits. Nothing about this fits. It doesn't fit, right? But it makes sense. I think feels better for me to say it that way. Alexis, our digital content producer, just passed me a cough drop, and she's way too kind. I think it's worse to hear a cough drop swirling around rather than, again, apologies. My profound apologies for the hoarse voice. It's not because I'm sick or because of anything else related to being sick in 2021. It is because I've been on stream many, many hours. We don't take breaks here. Have you seen a commercial break yet? This is the internet. We're not doing commercial breaks, at least at this stage of where we are with WFLA now. We're not doing any commercial breaks. It's nonstop. We're talking with you here, and talking for many, many hours, many, many days in a row leads to a little bit of a hoarse voice. So, Alexis, thank you, but I'm not going to do that to our viewers. That'll just drive people crazy. Jennifer McManus, #HJB. Are they charging the parents of Brian for obstruction of justice? No, absolutely not. Folks, let's go back and review this. Brian isn't charged with a crime. There's zero evidence that Brian had anything to do with this. We have to stay rooted in reality here and tell you about what's actually happening versus what's being theorized to be happening. And the theories are out there, and the general belief is out there that Brian Laundrie did something very, very bad to Gabby Petito, and Gabby's no longer with us. But we don't have that. There's no evidence that points to that conclusion at this time. Until there is, he is a person of interest and a missing person in a missing persons case. So that's where we are. If that changes, guess what? We'll be here live again to talk to you about where it now progresses now that he is a suspect being ready to be charged with a crime based on, of course, him being arrested. Let's see here. We took Charlie's comment here. Steve Young, #HJB. Oh, wow. Steve here. Likely not the quarterback. Steve Young, #HJB. Please send Gabby's family my thoughts and prayers from here in the UK. And it would be very odd if Steve Young, the legendary football player, was in the UK on Football Sunday. So that's why I say that. But but I highlight this comment here, and I'm glad this comment is in our queue because goes to show it's an international story. People are following this around the world. Hey, Steve, thanks for finding us from across the pond. We really appreciate it, and thanks for watching there in the UK. And hey, give us a shout out. Where are you guys watching from? We got a lot of people watching in a lot of different places because we're live in 100 or so different places simultaneously here. But if you're watching from outside the United States, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from here, folks. Cindy Ippolito, #HJB. Good question. What's the usual turnaround time on cause of death? It's a great question because people, this is what I'm talking about as far as people getting antsy and wanting answers from being antsy. Usual turnaround time on cause of death can vary greatly, but there is a process now that I can kind of share a little bit with you. First and foremost, a preliminary cause of death is concerned. What is going on, likely now or soon, is the body is being examined by Teton County, Wyoming, Coroner Brent Blue, the examiner's office there in northwest Wyoming. And at first, they can release a preliminary report. Now, when does the preliminary report come out? That can vary so much on the resources at their disposal. Some medical examiners' offices, some coroners' offices, as far as their procedures, sometimes they'll have to outsource certain efforts. Sometimes additional resources will be brought in to assist. And it varies so different from agency to agency and from state to state. So there's so much that we don't know about the process, but the process is so important because of, as what I mentioned earlier, everything has to be done right here. Everything's got to be done by the book. If they find something near the scene or something about Gabby's remains that leads them to believe that Brian Laundrie is now officially a suspect, they better be sure. And I say that because you don't want the process foiled down the road legally. You want everything done right. No shortcuts, no rushes as far as rush jobs to get things done. Take your time, get it right. That's what's most important. Get it right. So back to Cindy's question, usual turnaround time on a cause of death. Hey, listen, we're live for 100,000 people across all of our platforms right now. Retired medical examiner in there somewhere. Comment. Tell us what. I've never been to Northwest Wyoming. Confession. Never been to that area of the country. I've never been. How many of our commenters have ever been to the Northwest Wyoming, to the Grand Teton, Wyoming medical examiner's office, or worked there, or knows how that process works? We'll find out. The reporting will come out, and we'll find out more about the process and the estimated timeline for determining what the preliminary cause of death is. But it can vary from remains to remains, and because some cases are more complicated than others. Some cases are blatantly obvious. And not to be grim here, and just to speak in generalities for a moment and not pertaining to Gabby, but if somebody has a gunshot wound to their head, you see what I'm getting at. But we have no information on the cause of death at this time. We don't know if it's obvious or non-obvious. We don't know, and we don't know because we don't know. We don't know how long it'll take for us to determine more about what happened to Gabby in her final moments and in her final hours. Cindy, thanks for the comment. These are the conversations that we need to be having right now as far as getting justice for Gabby. But I want to encourage a lot of our commenters to please send prayers for Gabby and for the Petito family. Thinking about them tonight and thinking about the suffering that they're currently experiencing. It's been an emotional night for us. It's been an emotional night for law enforcement there in Northwest Wyoming, as you saw in the press conference, but no one is going through hell on earth more right now than the Petito family. And when we're thinking of them, I'm thinking of them. And I could speak for our commenters, like just a moment ago here in the comment section, Elizabeth Beatty, ready, #HJB, we are praying for Gabby's family. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. Thanks, Elizabeth, and I appreciate a lot of the comments that are coming in. We'll get to some more of the comments coming in here. Cindy Lunsford, she hit the T. She meant Y. #HJB. May God wrap His loving arms. I think what she meant to write was around Gabby and her family. I got you, Cindy. Typing on those keyboards can be tough. Autofill and stuff. Appreciate you joining us, Cindy. Let's get to Ellen. Ellen Crowley, #HJB. This is the saddest, craziest case I have ever seen. Prayers for the Gabby family. Yeah, it is sad. And it is crazy. It got way more sad today. And it got way more crazy on Friday night when we could confirm and tell you with certainty that police didn't know where Brian was. The attorney for Brian Laundrie didn't know where he was, and we can say that the family indicated that they didn't know where Brian was, and Brian vanished. That was the craziest turn of events yet with this story in the news cycle, if you will, and the saddest is today. But to Ellen's final statement there, prayers for the Gabby family and for the Petito family. Kenzie Lockwood, #HJB, there will be justice for Gabby. I didn't know her, but I feel like I do. I've shed so many tears over this, and all I can do is pray for her sweet family. Prayers, prayers, prayers. I was emotional earlier on stream, so I know what you're talking about, Kenzie, and I like your profile picture, by the way. It clearly looks like you two like to go on adventures, and maybe that's why you feel a bit of a bond here with Gabby and her memory here. And you say, but like you say, I didn't know her, but I feel like I do. And a lot of people feel like that. Who's ever gone on a cross-country road trip? A lot of fun. A lot of fun. I haven't done it across the entire country, but I've done major road trips. One time, let's not get into the stories. It's not about me, but we've had fun on the road. If you've ever been on a road trip, you've had fun on the road. It can be fun. It can be long and boring, and you're got a lot of time on your hands, and you're going from place to place. But it's a lot of fun, and I think people saw the fun that Gabby was having, and they felt a sort of kinship with her because we've been there. We've been on those long road trips, and we know how fun it can be to find that random restaurant in the middle of nowhere, be so hungry, and then you go into that restaurant and you have the meal of your life, and you're like, oh my God, if we ever come back here again, we're going to this restaurant because that's the best pile of pancakes I've ever had, or that's the best casserole I've ever eaten. People have memories like that with their loved ones, and I feel like if you watched any of the YouTube videos and some of the posts that they were making, you feel like you could understand that that there was fun that was being had on this adventure, and then there wasn't. And that's where the story took its turn. Kenzie, thanks a lot for your comment. Alicia here, #HAB, I pray for her family and friends' hearts as well as the community. Alicia, thanks a lot for your comment. Yeah, let's just talk about the people that, if you went to high school with Gabby, if you had a friendship with Gabby, if you've ever, maybe she was an acquaintance, but you knew that she was a warm person and you didn't know her too well, but this story affects you tremendously because you've had, her story is now all over the place, and but you had some more direct connection to her, and for those friends and acquaintances of Gabby Petito, this is hard on them too. Hard on all of us, but hard on them as well. I think we're going to be going here for another 15 or 20 minutes, maybe on WFLA Now. How long should we go? How about we just go till my voice goes out? I could do that. It's going to give eventually here with all the coverage that we've been doing here on this story. But yeah, prayers for the family. I'm thinking of Joe Petito. I'm thinking of Nicole Schmidt. I'm thinking of everyone tonight in the Petito family. Diana Engel, #HAB, praying for truth to come out and for evidence to come forth that will lead them to the killer, if that's the case. Thank you, Diana, for saying that it's the case, because I think that we're starting to make it clear for folks here that this is not a homicide investigation until they call it a homicide investigation. Rooted in reality, folks. That's what we're going to stay committed to here. We're going to talk about the realm of possible and the outer realm of impossible, but we also have to stay, gravity pulls us into fact. And the fact is, this is not a homicide investigation. Police and authorities haven't indicated that Gabby was murdered. We believe in our guts and our hearts are telling us something tragic happened to this girl. We don't know that at this time. And until we have more circumstances surrounding her untimely death, we are going to stay rooted in reality here for you folks. Oh, Elizabeth's comment we just put up here a short time ago. Catherine Roy Rude. I don't want to say rude, so I'm going to just say Catherine Roy. #HAB, my deepest condolences and prayers go out to Gabby Petito and her loving family. May God give them all comfort in this horrific time and bring them justice for their beautiful daughter. Thank you a lot, Catherine. That comment, I think, means a lot to us and to our commenters. A couple of good questions here coming in, and I'm just adding some more here. A lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens here. So give me a moment here, folks. Looking for your hashtag KJB comments. And we're going to wrap up here at 7:30 Eastern. So 15 minutes time, I was just told. Oh, wow. Yeah, these are great questions. Terrific questions, you guys. I just just a moment of thank you for our audience who's been here with us at every step on this story. You have really made this. I don't know what because I want to stay focused here on Gabby, but just a moment here for our viewers to say thank you for bringing the reason that I like being here and talking to you. I used to be in television earlier in my career. The reason I like being here with you is because you, our viewers, can help carry the conversation forward and bring up great questions and points. And when new developments emerge, new questions emerge. And sometimes it's difficult for even us who've been in the news industry for some time to be able to decipher through all the potential questions and things that we should be asking about what's on the table. And to our commenters here, I just want to say a brief thank you for a lot of the very thought-provoking comments and questions. And I know that there's just so much goodwill about the Justice for Gabby cause tonight. And I just want to say thank you to all of you, to everybody watching wherever you're watching from. All right, so a few more comments that just came in. Now let's get to Deborah's. Deborah Williams, hashtag HAB. So since they found her in the Tetons, does that mean that the text about being in Yosemite was not sent by Gabby? No signal or no service. I always forget if it was signal or service. In Yosemite was the final text that was sent. And that was sent on August 25th, if I remember correctly. Hold on, I got to bring up the timeline here, folks. A lot of dates. So let me just bring this up. I want to have it in front of me so that you don't mishear it from me, because dates now and timestamps with this story are extremely important, and making sure that we know we know about the dates here. And let me make sure I have this right, because I want to bring up the video again here of the van, because the van was found on August 27th. This video here. Buttons. There we go. This video here of the van off the side of the road. This was August 27th. This dash cam video that is now very, very crucial, as we understand it, in finding fact and finding out what happened here. Okay, August 30th. Thank you to I'm sure that the comment section lit up with the date. August 30th. Gabby Petito's mom received the final text from her. And that's after this moment. Now, we don't know the time of death. We don't know. That'll be part of the examination as far as trying to determine a time frame as to when Gabby is believed to have taken her last breaths. But this video, and a big shout out to, one more time, Red, White, and Bethune. Jen Bethune, thank you for this YouTube video. We really appreciate you. That was taken on August 27th. We don't know where this fits in to the equation here, if this is in fact Gabby's van, white van, the van that we've been talking about. We don't know where this factors in to the timeline. Or we do, but we don't know, because we don't know that the key date now is when did Gabby lose her life? What day was Gabby? What day did Gabby? Did Gabby die? What was that day? Was it before this or after this moment? Now I know that Reddit is ablaze and TikTok is ablaze, saying that it was after this moment, or excuse me, before this moment. We don't know. We just don't know yet with certainty. And so there's been some online sleuthing going on that we've referenced here on the stream. Just a lot of folks trying to get answers and comb through videos like this one to determine where this factors in here. But to answer the question from Deborah, so since they found her in the Tetons, does that mean that the text about being in Yosemite was not sent by Gabby? Not necessarily. That text could have been sent at this stage, could have been sent by Gabby, and then Gabby lost her life soon thereafter. But I know that there are people out there that believe that the text was sent by someone else, by Brian Laundrie. The Petito family, Nicole Petito's mother, Gabby's mother, says that wasn't her. I know my daughter wasn't her. That wasn't her text message. So where does it all fit into the puzzle that is this timeline? We just don't know at this time. But we hope to find out more. I think my computer screen is about to break with these YouTube comments. Hi, YouTube. You guys, there's I think a slow down feature here to slow down your comments, and even then, you'd be 40 over the speed limit. YouTube, I'm trying, but I'll have to freeze this and take some of these questions and comments that are coming in here on YouTube. It's extraordinarily difficult. Thank you for the comment here, Deborah. Lisa Morvant, #HeyJB. Was it ever confirmed that Brian actually returned to Florida other than his parents saying so? Did law enforcement ever actually see him? Did they ever see him? As I understand it, we believe that law enforcement did know of Brian's location. Did they actually ever see him? It's believed that they did in fact see him, but where exactly and how that all now comes into greater focus here. Was it ever confirmed that Brian actually returned to Florida other than his parents saying so? Yes, because the van was here. The van was here. The van was in the Laundrie family driveway. And when police arrived at the house, Brian and a letter was passed to investigators, and so and he invoked his constitutional right to remain silent. So was he ever actually in Florida? The van made it back, and if Gabby was dead in Wyoming, then Brian is the logical person to assume drove this vehicle all the way 35 hours from Grand Teton National Park to Florida. Now, there have been questions here about there's a lot of people asking about, let me just remind you folks, WFLA.com, the WFLA app is where the timeline lives and where videos like this live. So there's a lot of questions asking about timelines and questions that are easily obtained here for you in our articles that are on WFLA.com. Click on the link in the description of this video. It'll take you over to WFLA.com. Our Gabby Petito hub and all of our articles within it live there. So please go there if you're looking for information here pertaining to the timeline, because we do have a day by day, as we have it, timeline of events in the search for Gabby Petito and what happened here with this story. But Brian, back to the 35-hour drive. Brian Laundrie makes this drive back to Florida, as we understand it, makes this drive back to Florida and brings the vehicle back to his home in Northport without his fiancé. There's been a lot of questions about Brian Laundrie's mental state, and if he was aware of Gabby Petito's, his fiance's death, then that's a road trip that has to take an extreme mental toll on somebody. And I say that because Brian's mental well-being right now is likely interconnected with the Justice for Gabby cause that I'm seeing here, of course, in your comments on social media. So, Brian Laundrie. Brian Laundrie makes this long road trip back, and we don't know if he was aware of Gabby's death when he made this road trip. I say that only because we talk about the realm of possible and the outer realm of impossible here. And we have to remember what's these two might have gotten into a fight. It's possible that they got, at this stage of where we are in this investigation and what we know at this time, it is possible that they got into an altercation of some kind. They separated themselves, and then something terrible happened to Gabby and Brian. It's potentially possible, again, panicked and returned home to Florida. Now people would look at me and say, like, JB, you're crazy. If they were in love, he would have stayed and searched for Gabby. I get that, but we have to talk about what is and isn't possible based on the facts that we currently have. And it's my duty to tell you what is and isn't possible here with this story. And all of the unknown makes that so difficult. But keep that in mind here. Gabby is dead. We don't know if it was a homicide. And Brian is a person of interest in this case at this time. Everyone wants to point a finger and assign blame, and I understand it. With 2 + 2 = 4, I get it. But you also have to think of where we're coming from here as journalists in telling you here what we know, what we don't know, what is possible, what isn't possible. And right now I'm telling you what is possible of a plausible, as far as a plausible scenario goes. We have another few minutes here. Aaron Young, prayers for the family from Tifton, Georgia. I hope she gets justice. Debbie, thank you, Aaron, for your comment. Really appreciate it. Debbie McCallum, #HeyJB. What are his parents saying now? What's the scene there? So talking about him, talking about Brian Laundrie, I would imagine, here with this comment. Okay, we don't have. Hold on. Let me just ask real quick. Okay, so we don't have a camera outside of the Laundrie house right now. Otherwise, I'd bring it up to you on feeds, and I want to make sure that nobody was on the way over there. Right now, we don't have a feed to bring you outside the Laundrie house. So, Debbie here, what's the scene there? We don't know what the scene is there like right now, but if we can pass that along here to you, we will. What are his parents saying? We don't know if his parents are communicating with law enforcement. We don't know if his parents are communicating with the attorney, who is then preparing a statement for law enforcement. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes right now until something public is available to us that we can report to you. My voice is starting to go here, folks. Again, as a reminder, a hoarse voice here because of many, many hours of nonstop commercial-free streaming here on WFLA Now for many, 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 many days. So my voice, I think, is starting to reach the end of this stream here. Skylar Peth, #HeyJB, rest in peace to that beautiful woman. Praying for the family. I'm so heartbroken to hear about this. I hope we get to the bottom of this. Skylar, I'm going to throw you, I like your comment. We're going to come back to it here and end out on that one. Lindsay Quinney, #HeyJB. If they can prove that Brian sent those texts and posted as her on Instagram, does he become a suspect? Probable cause. How does that factor in? I don't know. Good question. If they can prove that Brian sent the text, the no signal in Yosemite text, or that final text to Gabby's mother, and then prove that he posted as her on Instagram, is that enough that he is okay? That's the latest. Nothing else. Okay. Does he become a suspect? I don't know. So okay. Alexis here passing along a note here. The search for Brian Laundrie has ended for tonight. There have been some people asking about the Brian Laundrie search. We were live with you earlier in the day. We had coverage from Myakkahatchee as far as the aerial search, the ground search, everything that was going on here to search for Brian Laundrie in the hopes of finding Gabby Petito alive. It feels like 5 days ago now, that stream. But Alexis just informing me here that the search has concluded for the night. Now, hey, Alexis, Did anything about thermal imaging helicopters, anything like that? We haven't heard. Okay. So people have been asking in the comment section, thermal imaging cameras are on a lot of law enforcement choppers to assist in search efforts so that so search efforts can continue overnight. We haven't heard whether or not there's thermal, and that's basically night vision, folks. That's night vision so that anything that reaches a certain heat temperature range pops up on camera. That's like night vision video that's similar to what you would see in the movies when it's completely dark, but you see like a white outline or a white figure or anything that's emitting heat you would see on those thermal imaging cameras. And people have been asking a lot about if we know if that's part of the search efforts there in Myakkahatchee. We don't know at this time. If I know, I'll tweet it out at WFLAJB tonight. You can find me on all social media. If that's something I'm curious about too. So if I learn about that fact after the stream concludes, I'll let you know about it. But at this time, based on what we know, we have no information on whether or not that the search efforts are going to continue past this point. Again, the information just provided to us is that the search efforts in Myakkahatchee that we've been talking about there in rural Sarasota County, Florida, are stopping for tonight and will resume tomorrow in the Tampa Bay area here. Carl Hansen, #AJB, great platform for the public to comment on and show condolences and love for the Petito family. Love from Australia. We were talking about our international audience. Thank you, Carl, for the compliment here. It is a platform where we can bring you guys into the conversation, have a conversation here with you, and that includes around the world. So, Carl, watching here from Australia, we really appreciate it. But back to Skylar's comment. Skylar, I like your comment, and you have a cute little one there in your profile picture. So we're going to leave Skylar's comment up here on screen to end this out with. Skylar Nicole Peth, #HeyJB, rest in peace to that beautiful woman. Praying for the family. I'm so heartbroken to hear about this. I hope we get to the bottom of this. All of this, I sincerely agree with. I think many of our commenters would, virtually all of you, and I hope we do get to the bottom of this. But tonight, when I ride home and hug and kiss my wife, and I talk about where we are in the story right now, I'm going to keep things focused on Gabby, and I think that you should too. You have kids at home and you have difficult conversations and they go to school tomorrow and they come home and, they ask you about, I would never tell a parent how to talk to their child, but, these are difficult conversations to have. And I bring this up because of Skylar's child there and a cute kid in the profile picture. These are tough conversations to have because your child might go to school tomorrow and everybody might be talking about the Gabby Petito case. And it's a difficult conversation to have with kids. It's difficult to explain. But let's just let's just kind of keep things grounded here. And if there's one thing I want to really hammer home, in addition to prayers for Gabby and thoughts for Gabby's family tonight, as my voice finally starts to go here, remember to keep it rooted in reality and remember how much misinformation is out there on social media. There's landmines everywhere on social media, and you think you have something now that leads us to getting closer, to justice for Gabby, but it's actually something that does exactly the opposite because it gets so much traction on social media that it then has to be addressed by investigators, and it's not anything to be true. Point being is there's a lot of misinformation on social media that sometimes overtakes some of the good stuff that comes through from our community members on social media. So everybody keep things within the frame of mind of we know what we know at this time, and there's a lot that we don't know. And tonight the focus should be on Gabby Petito and Gabby Petito's family. Folks, as a reminder, WFLA.com, the WFLA app is where our Gabby Petito hub is currently housed. You can find the stories here, all of our stories, including these latest developments on WFLA.com and the WFLA app. All of our updates and push alerts will be on WFLA's app as well. So if you download the app, you sign up for push alerts, right when we know. And you're live with us on WFLA now at the moment that we send out a push alert that we are live here to talk to you. So WFLA.com, the WFLA app, if you're joining us on social media, you can click on the link in the description of this video. It'll take you over to that article. Might be one of our sister stations here as part of Next Star Nation. Proud to be part of Next Star Nation here as far as WFLA News Channel 8 is concerned. A lot of sister stations here, especially with NBC affiliates that that were collaborating with us here to bring you the very latest here live. But again, I want to just end out here by saying that from all of us here at WFLA News Channel 8, from all of us here on our coverage team, thinking about the Petito family tonight. And for Gabby Petito, again, the body found matches Petito's description, found in Wyoming. Officials confident enough to inform the Petito family that of this news and of this development. And we can just say, based on that knowledge and based on that information that was shared our way tonight, we can say that we are thinking of the Petito family, sending prayers for the Petito family, and may Gabby Petito rest in peace. Good night. Hey folks, JB Buno here with you live again. I don't want to say that. We ended our stream here, but we're back for a moment because right before I was about to end our coverage here, we have news of a memorial that is being set up for Gabby, and if we can bring it to you, we will. So stick around for another few moments if you can. Good. Okay. Give us 30 seconds and we'll take you to this memorial that's being set up in Northport, Florida. Stick around.
Oh, you need solar, right? Yeah, they're all solar. They just have to stick it out. Here's where the I'm just sticking the ones you put up here in the ground. Is that all right? Years ago. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Kobe! Alright, how do we find here? How do we do that? We're just making those. Yeah, we put in her favorite color, which is aqua blue. And then we got some beautiful angels. Just kind of thing, like just start Of course, that's what I've been trying to tell people on TikTok. We're a big family. And we all together like a small house. May not be a small town, but we live like a small town. Yeah, we're going to give them for people to put up in a prayer. They can say a prayer for the people. Yes, I'm seeing anybody that's standing around.
Hey folks, JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now, and we've engaged a new digital audience here. Hello there to you. Live here from Northport City Hall, where a memorial is coming together for Gabby Petito, memory of Gabby Petito, and of course Gabby Petito's family here. I want to just do a quick little Google search and help you out here. Northport City Hall in Florida. We're going to tell you exactly where it is because we've been getting a lot of comments, enough for me to just pop in here for a brief second and tell you exactly where that is. So based on what I'm seeing here, it is 4790 City Hall Boulevard in Northport, Florida. Again, 4790 City Hall Boulevard in Northport, Florida. 34286 is the zip code. So a lot of folks really, the Northport community, Sarasota County community, they're fantastic, and they want to do what they can and be part of this small memorial that is growing here by the moment. So again, one more time, 4790 City Hall Boulevard, Northport, Florida. This is Northport City Hall, right side outside of it. And if you'd like to do something, you of course can be part of this effort tonight to help us all remember Gabby in the way that we'd all should be remembering her, and also for sending prayers to the Gabby Petito family. More on WFLA.com and the WFLA app.
Yeah, that looks really good. Really?
Yeah, if you could. So, yeah. It'll be 813-250-3972. And then, like, once you hear, like, there's a switch, like, on that panel that's above, like, the keyboard. I think it says, I think the switch you hit, it says, like, man, OH.
Oh, you did?
You see that one?
Good job. Yeah, because I
Might
was
even
looking
say,
at
like,
Northport
pickup.
Beavers, and then there was one on Friday and Saturday, and I got confused.
Okay. I'll walk over. I'll be right back.
Let everybody know. My baby girl. Yeah, right? Later, by the way. You can't even imagine. Because my kids live up in Michigan, and my mom is in Northport, the greater Jefferson. Yeah. I know our children, they become adult children, and they have lives. Well, that's what they call you as your kids. Yeah, and then you don't hear from them. You're like, where are you at? Yeah. I always tell my daughter I'm having I get that.
And the kids, what? There was a
Fire ant pile.
fire ant pile somewhere.
It's right where you two are. I did that yesterday. Yeah, it's right where you two are. Right there in the front.
They got that cover, I think. But I just can't see it.
Yeah. Pin your shoes together.
Yeah, over there in the light, you can see your shoes over there in the light.
Joey.
Hey guys, be careful there. Somewhere there's a pant to it, so and then you'll get in it. I did it last night.
Yep, so did I.
Oh.
So my ankles are
ate up.
not pretty.
No, that's the way mine are. I wish I could find it again and put something over it. I can't see it.
Is it working?
All right, no, because it was turned off. It would take a
I
long
don't hear
time.
anything.
Yeah, because the thing was turned off. Do you have your phone one?
Yeah, it's just cutting in and out. You might have to put me.
Okay. All right, let's back up a little bit.
Okay, I think we should be going into show soon.
Yeah, I just don't want to be. I want to give people their space. Okay.
I'm on 12. I'm here.
Hold on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
My mic's not on.
Hey folks, JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. This is 8 on Your Side's Olivia Steen here, preparing for a live report on our 8 o'clock newscast coming your way here on of course, on our television broadcast product here. And it's very difficult to see behind her, but at this time there is a memorial that is being built, and members of the Northport community are coming outside of City Hall here and pulling together as much as they can to build a memorial that honors the life of Gabby Petito in the way that Gabby Petito deserves. A lot of pictures, a lot of candlelight, a lot of gifts here, a lot of mementos are being put out here in front of this area outside of City Hall. So 8 on Your Side's Olivia Steen here is going to be in our 8 o'clock newscast, and then we'll ask Olivia to just kind of step aside. The camera will zoom in here, and you can see just some of the photos, some of those mementos, and those really nice items that are being left here to show some unity and show some love and solidarity with the Petito family as they are currently going through the worst of it right now. Our thoughts and prayers here at WFLA are with the Petito family. And again, a touching memorial being set up here. So you'll have that here on your screen momentarily once we have Olivia Steen here live for us in our 8 o'clock newscast, which is right now here in the Tampa Bay area. Thanks for watching.
Okay, I got you. Well, Melanie, the people here are just devastated. Well, Melanie, the people here are just devastated. You know, we were here last night during the memorial, and there were so many prayers and hopes that there would be a different outcome. So to hear the most recent news is just heartbreaking for so many people. As you can see here at this memorial, people have gathered here to pay their respects to Gabby Petito. We actually caught up with one woman who said she worked with Gabby at the local Publix.
Publix being a grocery store chain, of course, here in Florida and the southeastern United States. For those of you, we're engaging a digital audience here across the country, really around the world, with some commenters coming in here from Europe, from Australia. So just a little bit of context there, as this is 8 on Your Side's Olivia Steen here in our 8 o'clock newscast on our broadcast product here at WFLA, and delivering a live report here. She'll be delivering her final remarks here after her package airs here on our 8 o'clock news, and she'll deliver her final remarks, and then we'll show you how this crowd is clearly growing. Let's listen in.
Home after the most recent update, and you'll hear from neighbors there tonight at 11. Melanie? Oh, can I have those keys? Sorry. Is that what you picked off the ground?
To your left, straight. Keep to your left, left foot.
This foot?
Straight down.
I don't see. Oh, right here. Thanks.
That was him when I was looking at it.
Oh, okay.
And now we have the brightness coming up here, and it's very dark here, but some of the light here be able to provide us with just enough to be able to see some of the memorial that has been set up here. This is Northport City Hall. We have a lot of folks in the comment section here in Sarasota County asking where they can go to pay their respects and where they can go to drop off a memento or a picture of Gabby or a candle here in Gabby's memory, and to show support and love for the Gabby Petito family. That's in the pinned comment on WFLA's Facebook page, but I will pass this along to the rest of our audience wherever you're watching from. This is at Northport City Hall, 4790 City Hall Boulevard, Northport, Florida, and of course here in Sarasota County. WFLA, of course, in the Tampa Bay area, covering all of our counties in our coverage area, including Sarasota County, as we're looking here now live at the memorial that is being set up and growing by the moment here. A lot of people now just arriving here on scene to pay their respects and leave something to show love, prayers, and support for the Petito family on a very challenging evening here for the Petito family here in Florida and across the country.
20-something years. Since 1998. It's been a long time. No, Blue Point.